Hi everyone, my name is Tina Kaysen, and this is my PowerPoint presentation for Counseling for Change. Today is November 26th, 2023. So I titled my presentation Couples Counseling Transformation Utilizing First and Second Order Change, Reframing, and Autonomy. So throughout my presentation, I will be talking about first and second order change, reframing, and autonomy. And each section looks a little bit similar in the paper as I kind of made each of the section have the same components kind of. But I tried to change it up a little bit for my presentation. So first we're going to start with first and second order change. Hold on, let me do the slideshow here. First and second order change. Um, I'm going to read some text that is in my research paper. Taking care of surface changes and responding to pressing relationship issues represents first order change. Surface changes is first order change. Conversely, second order change focuses on systemic patterns and the underlying processes that give rise to persistent problems. So first order is more surface level, and second order is more systemic and the underlying processes. The bigger or more long-term things. I could also say that second order could be like things that are not, you could compare it to things that are not necessarily in your awareness. So like the bigger things that are just creating all the problems. First order interventions include using conflict resolution, strategies, or communication skills training. So for first order, you're talking about communication. And interestingly, I have found through my practice, my private practice, that communication is a skill that most people do not learn or develop. And the people that I've met that are good with communication have had a lot of therapy, or they have had direct trainings like leadership training, management training, or specifically our therapists that have done like communication skills trainings. However, managing second order change and examining and altering essential relationship dynamics are necessary for long-lasting transformation. So once again, that would be bigger things. First and second order change. Therapy acknowledges that although attending to immediate concerns to achieve long-term change is vital, it is necessary to delve into more profound relational dynamics. So when couples are in therapy, it's important to not just talk about surface level things. You need to really go into more longer term things. And for me personally, I see that as talking about like childhood and attachment, and how your childhood attachment created your patterns inside yourself, even if you're not aware of it or whatever, and then you're carrying those patterns into your adult relationships. Second order change encompasses exploring the fundamental patterns, emotional dynamics, and attachment styles that play a role in the repetitive challenges experienced within a relationship. So it's pretty much just what I said. When you are young and you're growing up, you sort of you're becoming who you are as an adult. And for there's this book called Adult Children of Emotionally Insecure Parents, and the parents could have behavioral issues such as uh, depression, or they're bipolar, or they could have substance abuse problems, or they have unprocessed trauma from their own childhood that they then bring into how they are treating you in your childhood. And so, say um, your parents were emotionally unavailable and they discarded your feelings and um, didn't really create a space for you to feel safe talking about feelings and emotions and that sort of thing. And so, in that sense, it creates a insecure nervous system, insecure attachment style pattern. And people, as you know, they grow from kids to adults, they carry on these things and they might not even be aware of it until it starts creating problems in your adult relationships. And then for your adult relationships, you're having these problems, you have no idea what's going on. And then all of a sudden, therapy, couples go to therapy and they start learning about some of the reasons why they're doing what they're doing. And they have these great insight moments. Um, and for me as a therapist, it's always fun to see an insight moment. It's almost like the couple is like, oh, I never thought of it like that. So that could be some of that second order change that we're talking about, the underlying deeper kind of thing. Second order transformation entails examining and reorganizing the fundamental patterns of behavior that drive the persistent issues in the relationship. So for my clients, I always say that I'm looking for themes and patterns, and I like to connect themes and patterns from the present to the past and help clients become more aware of different things that they're doing and maybe why they're doing what they're doing. And that's the same for individual or couples counseling. Therapists support open communication and vulnerability in couples by guiding them through self-discovery and mutual understanding. So that's some of what I was, talking about. Um, the way I work, like I said, is I talk a lot about childhood and attachment, and how the childhood attachment is um, essentially carried on into your adult life, and most people do not have awareness of it, and they just a lot of because of that, there is essentially communication issues. And um, when somebody says that, they're says your actions are hurting me and upsetting me, and I feel hurt by what you said or what you did, and the other person uh, is an insecure attachment and they haven't learned communication skills, so the other person might make excuses and will not acknowledge that their actions hurt that other person, and they can't really grasp that, and there is no insight into that, or maybe even why they are like that. Through a more comprehensive examination, couples can recognize and confront the fundamental factors behind their difficulties, resulting in enduring change. So this, once again, it's talking about, um, I think couples counseling can be profound. When you have two people who mm, maybe have never been to therapy and they just know that they're not communicating well with each other. And then the therapist is essentially poking each person and asking about childhood and talking about um, how their feelings were hurt and how they communicated with their parents and that sort of thing. And then maybe even the therapist teaching the client how to listen to the other person's feeling and respond. Um, Even if you feel like that other person is not right in that moment, you're still acknowledging their feelings, and that alone can diffuse a super tense situation. Although it is necessary for complete couple counseling to integrate both first and second order change, doing so is challenging. It is definitely challenging because not everybody is ready to think that maybe they didn't have the perfect childhood, or, you know, they're a bad partner, or they need to improve, or something like that. So all these different challenges can come up because it can create all these more insecure feelings. And um, so there's like the saying that change is hard, and that's true. Sometimes people do not want to look at themselves and think about their past, and they just want to kind of like block that off and go forward. But when you do that, that alone creates problems. Engaging with deeper systemic parts of relationship can be first met with resistance or difficulty by couples, which is exactly what I was just talking about. Reframing. So reframing is another um, way to incorporate change into counseling, particularly counseling for couples. Therapists employ reframing as a flexible strategy to disrupt negative cycles, foster greater comprehension, and reorient viewpoints as they navigate the complexities of couples counseling. So that could be um, a person has always seen something in a negative way, but if maybe they understand why something is, and then you can incorporate some kind of silver lining or something that could be like a reframing. A deliberative approach is necessary to navigate the ethical complexities and challenges associated with reframing, with a particular emphasis on transparency, cultural sensitivity, and autonomy. Looking toward the future, the persistent examination of reframing techniques and a dedication to continuing professional growth encourages couples therapy, continued evolution, and adaptability as a discipline. Reframing in couples counseling refers to the therapeutic technique of reinterpreting and restructuring the meaning and perspective of a particular situation or issue in a romantic relationship. This approach aims to facilitate reframing, cognitive behavioral therapy technique that is effective in helping couples counseling clients change their negative thought patterns. So that could be some of that ABC, thoughts, behaviors, feelings, um, cognitive behavioral thought, behavior, feelings, changing the way you think, and maybe having a different behavior to have different feelings, and just reframing of certain situations can be helpful there. Through narrative reframing, romantic partnerships can liberate themselves from detrimental patterns and confront obstacles with revitalized hope and cooperative solutions. Reframes can be easily effective in situations involving conflict. The therapist could reframe a partner's behavior as expressing unfulfilled needs or unresolved emotions rather than perceiving it as intentionally effective. So it's essentially reframing how you think about it instead of being offensive or taking it personally. Now you can essentially have a greater awareness and perceive it differently. Such a transition encourages empathy and facilitates constructive dialogue by redirecting attention from assigning responsibility rather than seeking understanding. A contribution to breaking negative cycles and fostering positive communication strategies is made by reframing, which involves altering the interpretive lens through which the partners perceive each other's behavior. So it's basically just saying the same thing, just in a little bit of a different way. Autonomy is the last technique that I incorporated into change for couples counseling. The therapeutic process is centered on the individual's autonomy, a cornerstone of humanistic and person-centered theories. Respecting and recognizing each partner's unique identity and contributions is integral to autonomy in couples counseling. Therapists strive to establish a setting where clients feel at ease, candidly expressing themselves, and are actively involved in determining the course of treatment. An environment of autonomy in the therapeutic setting encourages candid communication by granting individuals the confidence to articulate their needs, desires, and concerns. Autonomy fosters an environment conducive to personal development and exploration, enhancing a relationship's satisfaction and durability. Importance for other professionals. In couples counseling, the ultimate goal is to augment relationship contentment and fulfillment through integrating first and second order change, reframing, and autonomy. Therapists contribute to forming enduring and mutually satisfying relationships by employing a comprehensive strategy that encompasses immediate concerns, delves into more profound relational dynamics, fosters positive narratives, and respects individual autonomy. To conclude, when conducting couples counseling session, the strategic and holistic application of first and second order change, reframing, and autonomy is needed. The approach considers the intricate nature of relationships, fosters adaptability and resilience, is consistent with empirical findings, and strives to facilitate long-lasting positive transformation and development within the distinct dynamics of each partnership. Therapists can assist couples in escaping inflexible thought patterns and promoting flexibility and openness in their interactions by presenting different points of view or interpretations of events. Therapists can approach couples counseling holistically by including these principles of change. In addition to dealing with current problems, they can investigate the underlying dynamics that give rise to ongoing disputes or difficulties in the partnership. So, and here are the references that I used for my paper. And So being a couples counselor is fun. I enjoy it a lot. And I particularly enjoy watching the couples have these like moments. And um the other day I experienced something and I was like, whoa, wait, what was that? What was happening? And in this moment, the couple was looking at each other, and it was just like this weirdness, and I picked up on it. And I said to the couple, was that an aha moment? Did you guys just have this like moment of insight and clarity? And they both looked at me and smiled and were like, yes. And to me, as the couples counselor, that was like, wow, this is awesome. So it was like I was experiencing this like profound insight just through the conversation that I was facilitating with them. And the next time that they came back, they had told me that they had renewed hope for the relationship and were having better conversations and less fighting. And they were more optimistic for the future going forward. When I first started seeing them, they essentially had one foot out the door. But because I saw them and I was able to uh, do some reframing and um, help them talk through their problems and learn how to communicate. And we were talking about their bigger, more long-term childhood issues and how they carried that into their current relationship. And it sounds a little bit cheesy, but it was kind of like this magical moment that made my heart smile when I witnessed the insight that had happened in that moment when they were sitting on the couch in front of me in session. And I really thought that that was like the coolest thing ever. And um, I'm just so happy that I got to experience that. And I hope to get to experience it more. So that is the end of my presentation. I hope you all enjoyed it and have a good rest of the year.